In the peaceful kingdom of Owakande, Okon was known as the hardest working farmer anyone had ever seen. Before sunrise, he was already on his farm, clearing weeds, planting fresh crops, and checking every corner of his land carefully. During rainy days and hot afternoons, he never stopped working. Villagers often shook their heads in surprise whenever they saw his strength and determination. Season after season, his harvest became larger than every other farmer's harvest in the kingdom. Soon, traders traveled from distant villages just to buy food from him. Wealth entered Okon's life slowly, but respect and fame followed him everywhere throughout Owakande. As Okon's riches increased, many families wanted their daughters to marry him. Mothers pushed their daughters forward whenever Okon passed through the market square. Yet, Okon's heart belonged to only one woman, named Adanna. She was the most beautiful woman in Owakande. Her smooth, dark skin glowed under sunlight, while her figure-8 shape made men stare whenever she walked past them. Women admired her beauty secretly, though many became jealous whenever she appeared during village festivals. Despite her beauty, Adanna spoke softly and behaved respectfully around elders. Okon loved her deeply, and after a grand celebration, the entire kingdom gathered joyfully to witness their marriage. Marriage brought happiness into Okon's home. Their large compound became filled with laughter, music, and visitors almost every evening. Adanna prepared delicious meals while Okon continued expanding his farmland across Owakande. Together, they looked like the perfect couple, blessed by the gods. One afternoon, Okon received news that his older brother Bassey planned to stay with them for a farming season. Since childhood, Okon respected Bassey greatly because he was the eldest son in their family. When Bassey finally arrived, Okon welcomed him warmly into his house without hesitation. Adanna also treated him kindly, serving him food and showing respect daily. Bassey was tall, handsome, and very confident around women. Although he smiled often, his eyes carried hidden envy whenever he watched Okon's successful life. Secretly, Bassey believed he deserved the riches and respect that surrounded his younger brother. Each day, while Okon spent long hours working on the farm, Bassey remained inside the compound, talking with Adanna. At first, their conversation seemed harmless. They laughed together while preparing food or fetching water around the house. Soon, villagers started noticing how closely they behaved whenever Okon was absent. Rumors slowly spread across Owakande, but nobody dared tell Okon because they feared destroying his peaceful marriage and family. One evening, heavy rain fell across Owakande while thunder shook the skies violently. Okon decided to sleep inside his storage barn near the farm to protect his harvested yams from thieves and floodwater. Back at the compound, Adanna and Bassey sat together beside a small lantern, speaking quietly while rain poured outside. Their secret feelings had already grown dangerous. Bassey moved closer and held Adanna's hand carefully. She tried pulling away at first, but loneliness and temptation weakened her heart. Before midnight, the forbidden desire they had hidden for weeks finally destroyed every boundary between them. Unknown to them, an old servant passing nearby witnessed everything silently through the window. The following morning, the old servant struggled with fear and confusion. He had served Okon faithfully for many years and loved him like a son. Several times he attempted speaking the truth, but fear stopped his mouth each moment. Meanwhile, Bassey and Adanna continued behaving normally inside the compound, pretending nothing had happened between them. Okon remained completely unaware while discussing future farming plans happily with his brother. Days turned into weeks, and the secret affair became stronger. Whenever Okon left for the farm, Bassey entered Adanna's room confidently. Sometimes neighbors noticed strange movements around the compound, yet everyone stayed silent because Bassey was older and highly respected within the family. During the New Yam Festival, villagers gathered inside the palace square for dancing, wrestling, and celebration. Okon proudly displayed baskets filled with fresh harvest from his farm, earning praise from the king himself. While music played loudly, Okon noticed something unusual for the first time. Adanna and Bassey stood together near the crowd, whispering secretly while smiling at each other strangely. Whenever Okon approached them, silence quickly replaced their laughter. A sharp feeling entered Okon's chest, though he tried ignoring it immediately. Later that night, he remembered the strange looks between them repeatedly. Sleep refused entering his eyes as painful suspicion slowly began poisoning his peaceful mind completely. The next morning, Okon woke earlier than usual and quietly pretended to leave for the farm. Instead, he hid behind thick banana trees near the compound, watching carefully from a distance. Hours passed slowly beneath the burning sun until Bassey finally entered Adanna's room after checking the surroundings nervously. Okon's heartbeat became heavy immediately. He moved closer toward the window and heard soft laughter inside the room. Then he heard words that shattered his soul completely. Adanna confessed her love to Bassey, calling him stronger and wiser than Okon. Tears filled Okon's eyes as he realized his own brother and beloved wife had betrayed him cruelly. Okon walked away from the compound like a broken man. The pain inside him felt sharper than a spear piercing his heart repeatedly. For many hours, he wandered through empty paths near the river without speaking to anyone. Memories of his marriage, hard work, and sacrifices haunted his thoughts endlessly. He remembered how proudly he welcomed Bassey into his home, never imagining such betrayal could happen inside his family. Anger slowly replaced sadness inside him. By evening, Okon returned home pretending everything remained normal. During dinner, Bassey laughed freely while Adanna served food calmly. Both of them never noticed the dangerous silence hidden behind Okon's tired eyes that night. For several days, Okon kept his discovery secret while planning carefully inside his mind. He continued treating Bassey with respect and speaking gently with Adanna, though his heart burned deeply beneath every smile. One afternoon, Okon announced that traders from a distant kingdom wanted to buy large harvests from his farm. Excited by the news, Bassey offered to help transport the goods through the dangerous forest road leading outside Owakande. Okon accepted happily and prepared everything for the journey. Unbeknownst to Bassey, Okon had already decided this journey would change all their lives forever. Revenge quietly grew inside him like poisonous fire spreading through dry grass rapidly. Before sunrise, Okon and Bassey loaded baskets onto their wooden cart and began traveling through the thick forest. Birds cried loudly from tall trees while silence surrounded the lonely path ahead. Halfway through the journey, Okon suddenly stopped beside a deep abandoned pit hidden among bushes. Calmly, He accused Bassey of sleeping with Adanna behind his back. Fear covered Bassey's face immediately. At first, he denied everything, but Okon repeated exact words he overheard outside the bedroom window. Realizing the truth could no longer hide, Bassey begged for forgiveness desperately. Tears rolled down his face as he blamed temptation and weakness for his terrible betrayal. Okon stared silently at his older brother, while painful memories flooded his heart again. Bassey knelt on the ground, begging desperately for mercy and promising never to return near Adanna again. For several minutes, only the sound of wind moved through the forest trees. Finally, Okon stepped backwards slowly and told Bassey to leave Owakande forever before sunset. He warned him never to cross his path again. Shock covered Bassey's face because he expected violence or death instead. Without another word, Bassey grabbed his small bag and disappeared into the forest shamefully. Okon remained alone beside the road, fighting tears as betrayal crushed his spirit completely. When Okon returned home alone, Adanna immediately sensed something terrible had happened. She searched the compound nervously before asking where Bassey had gone. Okon looked directly into her eyes and calmly revealed that he knew everything about their affair. Fear drained the color from Adanna's beautiful face instantly. She fell onto her knees, crying bitterly, begging her husband for forgiveness. She confessed the affair started from loneliness and foolish desire after spending too much time with Bassey. Okon listened quietly without interrupting her once. Every tear from Adanna only reminded him how deeply his trust had been destroyed by the two people he loved most. News about the scandal spread across Owakande faster than wildfire during dry season. Villagers whispered sadly whenever Okon passed through the market square. Many people blamed Adanna completely, while others condemned Bassey for betraying his younger brother shamefully. Inside the once joyful compound, silence replaced laughter completely. Okon stopped smiling and spent nearly every hour alone on his farmland. Adanna tried repeatedly to rebuild their marriage by cooking, praying, and apologizing daily. But the wound inside Okon's heart remained fresh. Nights became especially painful because memories haunted him constantly. Even while lying beside his wife, Okon felt like he was sleeping beside a complete stranger. Several months later, Okon stood alone on his farmland, watching fresh crops sway gently beneath the evening wind. Although pain still lived inside him, he finally understood that revenge could never heal a broken heart completely. Adanna continued proving her remorse through patience, humility, and faithful behavior every day. Slowly, Okon began speaking to her again, little by little. The deep scars remained, but forgiveness started entering his wounded heart carefully. Meanwhile, nobody heard from Bassey again after he disappeared from Owakande forever. Elders later used Okon's story to teach young people throughout the kingdom that betrayal inside family destroys trust faster than any enemy, and some wounds never truly disappear.